hope you will appreciate our work. Write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. beautiful actress Tina Louise 1956. Actress Irish Michaela 1950s. September 1938. Coal miner's wife and 3 of their children. Company house in Pusglove, Scotts Run, West Virginia. September 1938. Chaplin, West Virginia. Miner who has worked in mines since he was 14 and has tried to save money and have a better home, with his wife, suffering from bad bronchial condition and asthma. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Mid-Washington Service Company, 14th Street Northwest. June 1915. Washington, D.C., 15th Street North from G Street NW. Washington, D.C., circa 1915. G Street NW East from 15th at Treasury Department. April 1865. Charleston, South Carolina. Post Office, East Bay Street, showing the only palmetto tree there is in the city. December 31st, 1912. Dime Savings Bank Building, Detroit. March 1917. Washington, D.C. Cosmos Theater, Pennsylvania Avenue. Inauguration Week Bill. June 1943. Silver Spring, Maryland. Man repairing his automobile. January 1939. Unemployed miner. Herrin, Illinois. May 3, 1926. Apple blossoms at Winchester, Virginia. Circa 1928. Tacoma Park, Maryland. Washington Sanitarium Laboratory. October 13, 1945. Child's Frick residence in Roslyn, Long Island, New York. Guest cottage south facade. January 1925. Washington, D.C. Wardman Motor Company and Carlton Garage, 1108 to 14 Vermont Avenue. Chelsea, Michigan, circa 1901. Glacier Stove Company, machine room. Detroit, circa 1909. Union Depot, 4th and 3rd Streets. Washington, D.C., circa 1925. International Exchange Bank, 5th and H Streets, NW. January 1943. Washington, D.C. Pearl Ginsburg refused to have her boarding house rent raised. I have no idea what this is about. Make up your own story. Probably early 1950s. San Francisco, circa 1927. Peerless 6-90 sedan at Japanese Tea Garden, Golden Gate Park. Washington, D.C., circa 1937. Lobby, Acacia Mutual Life Insurance Company building. (1940s) photo taken by my grandfather, Detroit news photographer Howard McGraw, of a young man who's really just too cool for words. Don't worry, the cigarette is not lit. November 1953. Beverly Hills, California. Comedian Groucho Marx sitting on a swing set with daughter Melinda. France. April 1918. The horrible disfigured man of war cannot cool the warmth of the friendship of his old comrade. Russian and Telegraph Hills, from roof of Ferry P.O. San Francisco. Palace Hotel, Market Street, San Francisco. After the devastating earthquake and fire of April 1906. a stunning woman from the 1970s. Washington, D.C., 1922. Department of Agriculture. First device to accurately measure a loaf of bread in cubic centimeters has been perfected by Bureau of Agricultural Economics. Washington, D.C., 1923. Dancer is all it says here. Washington, D.C., 1918. CN Odell children. Illegally but adorably parked. June 1939. Cowbat Quarter Circle U Roundup, Bighorn County, Montana. The Mississippi River circa 1900. Mardi Gras, New Orleans. Awaiting wrecks on the levee. Newport Beach, California. Balboa Bathing Parade, 1925. (1906) Mardi Gras in New Orleans. The Royal Chariot with wrecks at Canal Street Ferry. October 1939. Greeley, Colorado. Mrs. Milton Robinson, wife of Farm Security Administration borrower, in the kitchen of her farm home. September 1943. Cincinnati, Ohio. The children of Bernard Cochran, a Greyhound bus driver, doing dishes after Sunday dinner. (1938) Swimwear model on bow of skiff at Marineland. December 20th, 1909. Firemen spraying burning building on West 14th Street, New York. September 1943. Indianapolis, Indiana. A Greyhound bus station. Washington, D.C., November 24, 1924. Bonus Bureau Personnel Records Division. June 25, 1921. Washington, D.C. Bathing Beach Costume Contest. San Francisco circa 1920. Moon Auto. September 1943. Cincinnati, Ohio. Loading baggage on a Greyhound bus at the bus terminal. August 1937. Virginia, Minnesota Cooperative Service Station of the Virginia Workpeople's Trading Company. September 1937. Wife of John Halling, member of the Otsego Forest Products Cooperative. Otsego County, New York. West Main Street in Alhambra, California. Detroit circa 1908. Walker Block, Griswold and Fort SDS. San Francisco circa 1919. Franklin Touring Car. September 1939. A gray day in New York City, looking northeast from University Place. Boston, Massachusetts, circa 1909. Christchurch, Old North. Circa 1909. Madison Avenue, Toledo. November 1942. Pittsburgh vicinity. Montour No. 4 mine of the Pittsburgh Coal Company. Coal miner waiting to go underground. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Tina Louise in a charming photo shoot by the river 1957. Subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. French film actress Michelle Mercier in the movie Angelique and the King, 1966. American actress Tina Louise, 1958. June 1943. Washington, D.C. Miss Helen Ringwald, employee at the Western Union Telegraph Office. (1912) Campus Martius, City Hall and Detroit Opera House. Cincinnati circa 1907. Federal Building, Custom House and Post Office. September 1918. Dinant, France. Calisthenic exercises before their swim. Little refugee boys from Nancy at their American Red Cross home at St. Lunaire. September 1918. Shell shock patients having a happy time fishing and swimming under the walls of the old chateau. These American soldiers are recovering from war neurosis. July 1938. Douglas, Georgia. Wife of sharecropper in town to sell their crop at the tobacco auction. March 17, 1919. Interior of main garage of American Red Cross, 79 Rue Laugier, Paris, France. The Jersey Shore circa 1905. The Casino, Asbury Park. Detroit, 1905. Children's Day Playground at Belle Isle Park. Washington, D.C., circa 1924. Memorial Continental Hall, 17th Street Northwest. Detroit, circa 1907. San Francisco, circa 1923. Studebaker Big Six touring car. June 14, 1918. Red Cross comfort bag in the American Military Hospital No. 1 at Neuilly, France. February 1917, New York. Frieda Hempel, the German soprano and Metropolitan Opera star. Washington, D.C., circa 1921. Garfield Hospital. May 1943. Galveston, Texas. Newspaper delivery boys. Washington, D.C., circa 1924. Federal American National Bank Building, 1315 F Street, NW. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. George Washington University. August 1908. The Ball Team, composed mainly of glass workers. Indiana. Atlantic City, circa 1905. The Shelburne, Michigan Avenue at Boardwalk. April 1865. Charleston, South Carolina. Headquarters of General John P. Hatch, South Battery. Los Angeles, 1957. Trailer Life Model. A model just waiting to get hitched. April 1943. Baltimore, Maryland Peanut Stand. July 1940. Boys in Natchitoches, Louisiana, folding papers before delivering them in the afternoon. August 1941. Cowboy on a ranch horse in the corral at Quarter Circle U, Brewster Arnold Ranch Company. Bernie, Montana. Washington, D.C., circa 1928. Fire Department truck decorating. American actress Roxanne Brewer, 1966. Washington, D.C. Dunn, GU 28. Georgetown University forward John Dunn. August 1943. Arden, New York. Interracial activities at Camp Gaylord White, where children are aided by the Methodist Camp Service. Campers help with the kitchen work. Washington, D.C. War Risk Insurance Basketball Team, 1921. Indianapolis, circa 1905. Federal Building, Courthouse, Post Office, Ohio Street. Circa 1905. On the grounds of Kittatinny House, Delaware Water Gap, Pennsylvania. September 1938. Children of Coal Miners. Scotts Run, West Virginia. June 14, 1918. Seen in corridor of American Military Hospital No. 1 at Neuilly, France. September 1938. Homemade caned furniture in bedroom of coal miner's home. A company house. Puzzglove, Scotts Run, West Virginia. March 2, 1962. New York City views. Downtown Manhattan skyline from the Al Smith houses. June 1918. A serious operation by the company barber at American Military Hospital No. 5 at Automotive, France. Washington, D.C., circa 1921. Auto School. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Old Dutch Market, interior, 9th G Streets, NW. Circa 1905. Lower St. Regis Lake, Paul Smith's Hotel, Adirondack Mountains, New York. New York, circa 1905. Sheep in Prospect Park, Brooklyn. A parade in Coshocton, Ohio, sometime in the 1950s, including the Coshocton Street Department decked out in safety orange. From my grandfather's Kodachrome slides. Savannah, Georgia, circa 1900. Hotel DeSoto. June 24, 1918. Representative of American Red Cross Home Communication Service distributing cigarettes in hospital at Contrexeville, France. June 12, 1918. Dressing the wound. American Military Hospital No. 1 at Neuilly, France, Dr. Johnson. November 1900. Washington, D.C. Pennsylvania Avenue from Treasury Building. April 1943. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore Transit bus with trolleys of 1917 vintage. Many old cars have been reconditioned because of wartime transportation pressure. San Francisco circa 1920. Standard 8 sedan at Golden Gate Park. This is somewhere in the Essex County, New Jersey area and is dated July 31, 1938 on the back. Evaristo Gallegos OK store was opposite the courthouse, so this is 4th Street in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Detroit, Highland Park, circa 1916. 4 o'clock shift, Ford Motor Company. Niagara Falls, New York, circa 1908. Falls Street at night. Sweet Gail McKenna 1989. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. The beautiful Sheila Gable 1959. Heather Thomas is an actress, writer, and political activist with a fortune of over $2 million. Photo 1978. Joey Lansing, American actress, photo model, and singer. Photo shoot 1952. From the early 20th century, somewhere in the Northeast, comes this 4x5-inch glass negative with the caption, "LK Bicycles at Spring." New York circa 1912. The big buildings of Lower Manhattan. Wyoming baseball is all it says on this 4x5 negative, from the same batch of glass plates as these college lads. San Francisco circa 1925. Cunningham Auto and Chorus Girls. A little of everything going on here: vaudeville, car trouble, assault. December 4th, 1937. Washington, D.C. Correct way to bake turkey. H. E. McClure, of the Bureau of Husbandry, tests the turkey meat for odor. November 26, 1929. Thanksgiving turkeys for the President. Washington, D.C. Thanksgiving 1919. Once this chilly-looking fellow is properly dressed and warmed up in the kitchen, he'll have an honored place at the family table. Circa 1922 in San Francisco. This aging Chalmers touring car needs a new shoe. Since we're at the Maxwell Chalmers dealer, why not take a look at the new models? December 1934. No elephant toys for First Lady. Mrs. Roosevelt, on a Christmas shopping tour, had a hard time convincing Santa Claus that she did not want a toy elephant, a symbol of the Republican Party, as a Christmas present. From around 1910 comes this 5x7 glass negative showing a rail car fitted with what? Scranton, Pennsylvania, circa 1901. Board of Trade and Linden Street. Completed in 1896. Circa 1945. The Future Life magazine photographer Tony Link and two close associates. I purchased this 8x10 photo at a swap meet. On the back it says, L.R. Wally Miles, Jackie Regard, Francis Willems. San Francisco circa 1922. Army car with carriage-mounted searchlight. A military-grade Cadillac at the Presidio next to an aircraft hangar. Six exposed plates at Father Glasser's camp on Sunday, October 12, 1902. The only plate remaining in the original box of 12, this would seem to show a mission or church camp south of the border. Circa 1920. Set pieces, Arlington Hotel, including a polar pastry snowball iced with cookery 1909. Washington, D.C., 1919. Red Cross Vocational Education, Dietetic, Morse School. San Francisco circa 1925. Film star Mae Murray and Wessenberg Auto. (1927). New York City views Long Beach, with more than a few examples of street clothes in the sand. San Francisco circa 1930s. Locomobile 90 Victoria sedan, with a factory price of $7,300. This giant Series 90 Victoria came at the end of the road for the revered Locomobile brand. Lohler, GWU, 1920. Johnny Lohler, formerly of Tech High, now a Hatchetite's gridiron star. April 1942. Drummer Red Saunders and his band at the Club de Lisa, Chicago. From circa 1910, somewhere in the Northeast, comes this 5 by 7 inch glass negative labeled Cooks and Kitchen. San Francisco or thereabouts circa 1919. Chalmers touring car, at what seems to be a deluxe cow barn. August 27, 1935. Congressional pages Mr. Sandman. Fred Johnson of Wyoming and Howard Osman of the District of Columbia. Congressional pages, photographed as they snatched a bit of shut-eye while the House and Senate brought the session to an ignominious adjournment. Circa 1905. Launching of the Detroit Yacht Club. Actress Kathy Shower, 1975. San Francisco circa 1923. Buick touring car at Victor's Dog. San Francisco, 1934. Fish Service Garage. So, mister, you say it pulls to the right? Merry Christmas from the family. Actor Chuck Connors, his wife Betty and their sons Jeffrey, Stephen, Michael and Kevin circa 1960 at their home in Los Angeles. March 22, 1941. Pontiac and Mount Davidson Park, San Francisco. So if a tree falls on a convertible in the woods. (1924) Ario Taxicab, San Francisco. Why Uber when you can Rover? January 1943. Freight operations on the Chicago Northwestern between Chicago and Clinton, Iowa. The crew, with exception of the firemen, chat while waiting for orders to pull out. Washington, D.C., circa 1935. Children playing, with a cameo appearance by our old friend Turnbuckle Star. Graham Page Sedan, San Francisco. It's a beautiful sunny day in 1929. What could go wrong? Mill Valley, California, circa 1925. Nash touring car with trailer, outfitted with a patriotic profusion of flags. (1909) Midwinter Carnival, Children's Parade with Dogs Sled. Upper Saranac Lake, New York. August 1941. Stockman on street corner outside Bar the Mint, Sheridan, Wyoming. October 1919. California Highway Motor Train in San Francisco. A publicity stunt showcasing the nascent field of long-distance trucking as facilitated by the giant pneumatic tire. February 21, 1924. Washington, D.C. McLeod robbed. M. Clancy. So what's going on here? Blue Earth Skating Pond, January 6, 52. This slide by Hubert Tuttle opens the winter edition of Minnesota Kodachromes. hot chocolate, anyone? San Mateo County, California, 1924. Daily City Deputy Health Officer and construction trucks. Also the quarters of the constable, not to mention oil and greasing. Taken near Pikes Peak, Colorado, my great-grandfather's brother, George W. Downing, poses with his wife, family, and one great automobile. New Orleans circa 1880s to 1890s. Street in the French Quarter. San Francisco, 1924. Flint Roadster at golf course. Detroit, CA, 1903. Children's Playground, Belle Isle Park. Please note, children only. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Michelle Bauer is an American actress, a bikini-clad beauty posing in a bikini in 1980. English former glamour model Gail McKenna, 1989. English model and actress June Wilkinson, 1969. February 1936. Washington, D.C. Heated taxi cab. Sure, but can you summon it with an app? March 16, 1897. USS Brooklyn, Office of Executive Officer. Note the ancient typewriter. Toledo, Ohio, circa 1901. Toledo Club. Convenient to the Steinway store and quarters. (1919) vehicle at Fire Hall. Copied onto a circa 1950s sheet of Eastman X-ray film. January 1897. USS Brooklyn, First Sergeant, Marine Corps. Grace, Sally Hubert, September 18, 1951. The latest episode of Minnesota Kodachromes finds the Tuttles out enjoying a fine sunny day. (1935) Washington, D.C. View looking down from U.S. Capitol Dome, West Front. San Francisco, 1921. Saxon Auto and Fishing Boats. Another automotive brand not long for this earth. World War veteran Bonus Expeditionary Force. Seen from the Bonus March on Washington, when thousands of veterans converged on the Capitol in 1932 to demand cash redemption of their World War I service certificates, a bonus that wasn't supposed to be paid until 1945. The Pacific Northwest in 1918. Kissel Military Highway Scout Car at Sunset Lodge. July 1913. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Gettysburg Reunion, GR. UCV veterans at the encampment. Kissel Military Highway Scout Car. From somewhere in the woodsy Pacific Northwest comes the Scout Car, with 1918 Washington State dealer plates. (1916) Dolly's sister with Buzzer the cat, portrait photograph. One of the Dolly sisters, Rose and Jenny, twin vaudeville stars from Budapest who made it big in America. San Francisco circa 1910. W. Montague Company plumber with water heater and bathtub. San Francisco. 1934 Federal Truck, City Ice Delivery Company. A business that was melting away. From somewhere in New England in the 1940s comes this uncaptioned 4x5 AGFA negative of three happy guys and their Ford truck. New York, 1944. Pawnbroker and prospective customer. I imagine the idea here was to convey the wholesome, cheery atmosphere of the typical pawn shop. July 21st, 1923. Water conduit. Part of the Washington, D.C. aqueduct system, along what used to be called Conduit Road. Circa 1908. Broadway and Grand Union Hotel, Saratoga Springs, New York. The Bay Area in 1918. Service truck and greens. Eucalyptus trees and some sort of leafy vegetable. circa 1918. The heart of Detroit. From 1912 or later comes elderly man in rocking chair, watching the world go by from the vine-covered porch of his cozy cottage, erected AD 1901 at 479 Main Street. Circa 1900 in parts unknown. Seth Lamb at Wills. f4.53.5 F Kodak. Washington, D.C., 1928. Going out on a low note. Women with contrabass tuba is all it says here. August 1912. Campus Martius and Detroit Opera House, with much interesting signage. San Francisco circa 1920. Peerless touring car, along with what could be a demonstration of either aerodynamics or sobriety at the start of Prohibition. Actress Kathy Shower, adorable photo 1975. Circa 1900. Letty's Girl with Bicycle and Dog. Circa 1900. Back at the Handlebars Homestead. Letty's Bikes. f5.6 no filter 2 inch shirts is what it says on the sleeve. May 1943. Bethlehem Fairfield Shipyards, Baltimore, Maryland. Liberty Ship Construction. Welding out a hatch assembly at night. Northern California in 1924. Willis Night touring car on dirt road. Floyd at Folks, January 20th, 1952. In this latest installment of Minnesota Kodachromes, Floyd shows that warmth and style need not be mutually exclusive. New York circa 1905. Circus at Luna Park, Coney Island. From the early 1900s comes this nightshirt posse of college men, possibly in Wyoming. 3 cheers for old Pimento U. This was taken in Provincetown, Massachusetts. All I know about it is the year and location. Detroit circa 1911. Dime Savings Bank under construction. From circa 1900 in parts unknown comes this 4x5 glass negative of G.H. Wood Jeweler, the business, and possibly a wood or two. Pages on Fillmore Hill at Broadway, San Francisco in 1926. From circa 1900, somewhere in North America, comes this glass negative labeled Ladies, Women on Swing. From around 1952, what looks to be somewhere in the Northeast, comes this faded 120 ectochrome of a city's service gas station. Washington, D.C., 1935. Woman at Western Electric telephone switchboard. The Bay Area in 1920. Dodge Auto on Boardwalk. The Dammer on Miller Tires coast to coast. December 1942. Production. B-17 heavy bomber. The four mighty engines of a new B-17F, Flying Fortress, bomber warm up at the airfield of Boeing's Seattle plant as another warship of the air awaits its flight test. Letty's Ma and Tot. From around 1900, it's Miss, or Mrs., Handlebars again, and our third look at her house, along with another look at the baby. New York circa 1912. Wall Street with view of Bankers Trust Building and Trinity Church. (1910). Dalton All-Star Baseball Team Elm Street Field, Dalton, Penna. San Francisco, 1920. Diamond T Truck, DeLand's son Draymond. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. The Stunning Heather and Thomas, 1979. American actress, singer and former model Apollonia Cotero, 1978. Charming actress Margaret Rose Keel 1966. Washington, D.C., circa 1926. George Washington U. Who'll be first to recognize one of these anonymous alums? December 1941. White Motor Company, Cleveland. A half-track Scout car gets a touch-up job on the chassis assembly line. A durable finish protects the metal and helps to bring the vehicle up to Army standards of smartness. (1925) Indian Guides and Nash Auto at Covelo Stables, Mendocino County, California. From Marquette, Michigan, comes this glass plate dated 1890 and labeled Peterson. Say, I'll bet you kids have never been on the internet before. The Bay Area in 1923. Peerless touring car. Fully equipped with 2 spares.